What's up, everybody? Welcome back to this week's episode of Devin the Bear. This episode actually we're gonna be discussing more MMA related news. We were very lucky to have two guests this past Sunday with us, Mr. Gilberto Galvez and Antonio Limas. So but we're gonna get right back into things. So this past last weekend we weren't able to discuss the Gane versus Volkov card, which I mean was a card that from top to bottom I enjoyed. And then with the Kayla Harrison versus Candice Dandoy card, Cindy Dandoy card. The PFL card was also very fun. So we're gonna go and just kind of talk about that, give our opinions on that. So yeah.
All right. We can start with the PFL. They were pretty solid fights all around. I would say not really any surprises for the most part. Denny Goltsov got a TKO of Brendan Sales, and I think everybody was giving it to Brandon Sales, so I would say that if there was one surprise, it'd be that one, but I don't really think it was that surprising.
Were you able to catch it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Really good combination for Goltsov to put him away.
When he kicked him in the nose, man, that blood that dripped out, I was like, that is disgusting, but so cool at the same time. But yeah, I mean, I don't know why people were putting him past Denny though. He's a veteran of the sport. He's been around for a very long time. He's 27-8 now. I think that's his record. And Brandon Sells, who's a tough guy, former military. He's also a Hawaiian. Those Hawaiians are built different for sure. They're tough as fuck, dude. They really are. And but just with that, I really wasn't surprised that Denny took the win. I didn't expect him to finish Brandon though.
Yeah.
I think Brandon was riding off a little bit of hype, which it was well deserved with his win over Muhammad Usman. But Denny was it was his fight the whole time,
Yeah. Moving to the Lance Palmer and Mavlid Kabalayev. Mavlid won by decision. Lance just couldn't keep up. Couldn't stop the takedowns after a while. Yep. Couldn't get his back off the cage or the canvas. That being said, that wasn't the entirety of the fight either, though. It was on the feet more often than I definitely expected. But again, Lance Palmer was just waiting for that takedown. Yeah. And he couldn't guess when it was coming.
Yeah, and that's what watching that card, I gave watching that fight, I gave the first round to Lance Palmer. I thought he took that round, but then as soon as the second round started, it was a completely different story. Yeah. It was how do you say his name?
Kabalayev.
It was just Kabalayev just taking the pace of the whole fight, saying where it goes, just controlling it. Even the scorecards were 29-28, so they gave that first round to Lance Palmer. But Kabalayev was able to come in and just really implement a game plan, which is surprising to see. With Lance Palmer being a former collegiate wrestler in his younger days, I guess the age of combat sports are catching up to him.
Yeah, that's very possible. That being said, though, he's still in the semifinals.
Yeah.
So he'll still have a future to look forward to in the season.
Yeah,
I think Kabalayev is too, if I remember correctly.
I can double check for you. But yeah, man, I think with that though, it's gonna be definitely exciting to see what happens. He didn't clinch. He got eliminated after that loss.
Lance Palmer did?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And so Kabalayev clinched with 6 points. And
okay, maybe that's what I was thinking of. My bad.
Bubba Jenkins clinched, Chris Wade and Brandon Lochnane's still in first. And I think Brandon Lochnane's going all the way though. I think he's going to win the championship, win the $1 million prize. So, and for the co-main event, you had Rosh Monfio defeat Anthony Pettis by split decision, which some people were pretty upset with the call on that one.
Yeah, I think it was pretty similar to the Lance Palmer and Mavlid fight. Anthony Pettis had his moments. You were saying that before, and I definitely agree with that. Mm-hmm. But I think Monfio just was the more dominant striker in that fight.
Yeah.
I think the shots, he landed about as much, if not more shots, but his shots were more significant than Anthony Pettis's. That's kind of the story of the fight right there. He dropped him with a knee. He was hitting him on the ground. He was hitting him up against cage. Like, it just, after that point in the fight, I don't think that Anthony Pettis had any moments.
No, I don't think so either. But I know Anthony Pettis enjoyed it. He had a good time in the fight. He was really happy. Those guys went out there and they just threw down. But I think Monfio, he just showed that he's the younger, more aggressive fighter. You look at his record going in; he was 12-3 going in. Then you have, I'm not sure, I can't remember what Anthony Pettis' record was off the top of my head. But
We know who he is, though.
yeah,
we know what kind
exactly.
of record he's got.
Yeah,
He's got a
yeah.
lot of fights under
And
his
so
belt.
he's 24. He was 24-11 going in. And so with that, it's just so you saw Monfio, who he only has 3 losses out of those, those 15 fights. He has a 4-1 ratio to win or loss, which is a great record. He's a young fighter. I think he was 27 and 20 or 29 going in. Excuse me, but he's about that age this year, and but he just kind of was able to keep up with whatever pace that Anthony Pettis was throwing at him. And I know he had Anthony Pettis pretty hurt in one of the rounds as well. So, yeah.
With after that, we got Kayla Harrison and the Cindy Dandoy fight, or Dandois, but she actually didn't look too bad.
I didn't think so either.
It's just Kayla Harrison. Like I keep saying it, we keep saying it.
Yeah,
she's Ronda Rousey, but better.
Yeah,
or rather, she's the gold medal version of Ronda Rousey because realistically, that's what it is.
Yeah,
quite literally, she's got the gold medals and Ronda had bronze. And that's exactly what she went in there and did. She went in there and got the judo throw to the submission, or got it to the ground and then got it into the armbar. Like, that's just what those guys look for. That's what Kayla Harrison looks for. So, again, not a lot of shocks there,
no.
but definitely a lot of fun fights.
It was, it was a fun fight. I enjoyed it. Kayla Harrison just showed why she is the best 155er there, like you said. Yeah. Credit to Dandoy for going in there, and she fought her off for a good minute. She was... Even whenever she was in mount, Kayla Harrison was having trouble even just getting an armbar. But eventually, when you have a woman with the size and strength that Kayla Harrison has, you're going to eventually gas out. And you can only hold on to somebody for so long. When somebody's in full mount and you're wrapping your arms around them, you're pretty much just giving your arm away at that point,
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I really hope that the way they set up the women's semifinals, that they set it up for Kayla Harrison and Clarissa Shields not to fight each other. I hope they save that fight for the main.
Well, Clarissa Shields isn't in the semifinals.
Oh, she isn't?
Yeah.
She still has one more fight to make it in, right?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if they're having her in it or if she's just going to be part of the PFL roster.
Okay.
Because right now the semifinals are full with the 4 people, so I don't know.
Yeah, you're right. I don't think she's in it because I'm looking at it like you said, and yeah, she's not even in the brackets for it.
But I think that's a good thing for Clarissa Shields.
I think so too. Let her get her experience.
As great as she is, but yeah, if she starts trying to fight Kayla Harrison right now, it's not going to go well for her.
No,
I definitely think she has the power to put Kayla Harrison away.
Yeah.
She has the power to put anybody away, but she's got to learn the distance first. Boxing distance is not the same as kickboxing distance.
Right.
And I think in her last fight against Elkin, that was shown that she couldn't get in on Elkin, and Elkin knew how to keep the distance.
Yeah, because Elkin took her down pretty easy as well.
Yeah, because she kept her at a distance, and all she's got to do is, second she gets in close, Shields was not ready for the takedown for a while.
Yeah.
And then whenever she saw her coming in, she would start throwing punches and miss and then get taken down. And then that last sprawl she had looked really good, though.
Yeah, she did.
Less of a sprawl, more of, I'm going to stand here and you're not going to take me down. But, yeah, they're good fights in PFL.
Yep.
And we had a lot go on in the boxing world as well.
Yeah.
Gervonta Davis had a fantastic fight against the much larger opponent in Barrios. Man, it was a very back and forth match. Very technical, very mind game kind of boxing match for both of them up until about I would say the 10th round, where Davis went in there and knew he had to kind of muscle him out and get him away. Then actually Floyd Mayweather came up ringside to his corner, was telling him that you're down in the rounds, so you're not winning this fight. It's not yours. You won a couple, but it's not your fight. And so after that, Davis went in there and started dropping Barrios a couple times. And then
he hit with a really nasty body shot.
Yeah.
Would have thrown up. I really would have.
I think most people would throw up.
Yeah. But yeah, man, Gervonta Davis isn't a fucking joke. You can't take him lightly. He's a short guy, but he's stocky. They call him Tank for a reason.
Yeah.
He's in there to just put people away. And was that that's his 25th win, right?
Yeah, I think so.
25th win,
25
24
or 26,
knockouts.
one of those. Yeah, I really he's super lightweight champion.
Yeah.
On the way there.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a lot of big fighters he's got to look forward to, though.
Yep.
I could see him fighting Terrence Crawford or Errol Spence Jr.
Yep.
at some point, and those will make for great fights right there.
I think people were talking about him versus Ryan Garcia, but I think he beats Ryan Garcia.
Oh, yeah. Ryan Garcia and him have beef. Their corners have beef. Their trainers have beef. Ryan Garcia wouldn't be able to handle Gervonta Davis, I don't think. His speed is fantastic, but, what does it matter? If you're not hurting Davis, you're not gonna win.
Yeah, yeah. That's kind of just kind of my take on that too. Is like I think he's for sure he's faster than Gervonta Davis, but I think when it comes down to it, Gervonta Davis, he really just has to touch you. He just knows where to land that punch at, and he's so powerful to do so. And so, but yeah, I mean, whenever you look at people in that weight class as well, though, I mean, what's that? I know Ryan Garcia was the interim WBC lightweight champion, and so yeah, we'll just kind of just wait and see what happens with that. Then we have Vasily Lomachenko finally make his comeback after his second career loss against Nakatani. He TKO'd Nakatani, and when you saw I'm trying to remember who he lost to. He lost the belt to Lomachenko did, but he just kind of whenever that fight happened though, he just went in there and because he looked asleep whenever he lost Teofimo Lopez. That's who he lost to, and he just kind of looked asleep with the whole fight. He wasn't really there. And then when he went there and fought Nakatani, he TKO'd him in the 9th round, but it was just a clinic for him from that point. Yeah,
he beat the crap out of that
dude.
Yeah,
he did. Yeah.
And I always like seeing the kind of representation from all different countries, so it's really cool. You get all different kinds of people, and you see different kinds of boxing because of that. And I think that's just was a bad matchup for boxing style for Nakatani. He couldn't do anything. He was just getting hit in the face, and he wasn't able to move in on that. And Lomachenko, at one point, he lands, I believe it was a left, might have been a left cross to the face, but you just see Nakatani's face give up. It was pretty dirty. I think that was the one right before the stoppage, actually.
Yeah.
That was the setup to the whole combination, and boy, it looks like it's some heavy hits, man.
That's what's scary about Lomachenko, though, is like he hits hard, but he'll just make you like mentally quit.
Yeah.
I mean, he's also I don't know which weight class he's fighting at right now. I know he was at lightweight, featherweight. He's kind of all over the place. But yeah, he's a scary dude. He was actually the former champ. Teofimo Lopez actually beat him for the belt. So it's definitely, I think that rematch will be a lot sooner than expected. So we'll have to wait and see what's that.
But another interesting news in the boxing world right now is Canelo Alvarez is kind of doing a bunch of different things. He's his team's saying that they are looking for Errol Spence Jr. as a fight, possibly, and a couple other people. But one of the people he called out was Artur Beterbiev, who has he's 16-0, and all 16 fights were wins by knockout.
Yeah.
So it's 100% KO ratio. That dude hits hard, and he hits fast, and he doesn't need to generate the power for the power to be there.
That's what you were telling me about that, and I went and watched some of his highlights. It was insane watching this dude because he doesn't really like pivot his feet into punches. He just pops his hips. Either. Yeah, he just kind of pops his hips a little bit whenever he throws that punch to put that power into it, and he just has that natural, just heavy hands. You know, and a lot of boxers still have that, but it's like you don't see it as prevalent as you do with him. You know,
and I think he's a light heavyweight, so that's a big jump for Canelo.
25 pounds.
Yeah, if Canelo does step up to fight him, he's going to be really small.
Yeah.
That's going to be interesting. It's going to definitely be interesting because it's 25 pounds, but it's 25 pounds after Canelo has moved up in weight classes like twice now.
Yeah.
So it's not really 25 pounds. It's several. It's much more than that.
Yeah.
The size difference in total is going to be interesting to see if that matchup does happen. And I kind of want it to, because can you imagine if Canelo wins? That'd be nuts.
That's what I mean. Well, especially with boxing weight classes, like especially with their weight cuts, are much more different than MMA weight cuts. MMA weight cuts are very brutal.
Brutal.
Yeah. boxers they have options to weigh in at different weights for a weight class, and then even then they have look at featherweight, super featherweight, lightweight, super lightweight, and it just keeps going, and so there aren't a very extreme weight cuts like that, which I'm sure some of those guys have to cut weight just to make. I know Tyson Fury has to cut weight to make it. He's got love handles, man. Yeah. He has to cut weight, but so we'll see, man. I mean, I don't know what's next for Canelo. I think very few guys give him problems, honestly.
Yeah. It's hard to say. It's hard to argue with that. Yeah. So, moving on to the Gane Volkov card. We will stick with the main card, and we had Renato Moicano submitting Jai Herbert with a submission. It was a rear naked choke. Really, that was all Moicano there.
Yeah, he took him down whenever he felt like it.
Yeah, and I don't think that I don't think that Herbert's the kind of person who's not going to come back from this. I think he definitely does come back from it.
Yeah.
But you've really, really shown you have a lot to work on.
Yeah.
And that's not to say that Moicano, that's not to take anything away from him, but it really, really shows Herbert has a weakness, and if you're good at taking people down and moving them around on the ground, you're going to be all right.
And that's the thing, too, is like he took him down he took him down 4 times by the, I think, a couple minutes in the second round. And it's like, I don't know, like, what was going on with Jai Herbert for him to not really do anything with it. But whenever they stood up, I remember there was like a break in the first round, and they stood up from the ground. They got up, and Jai Herbert was tagging him, and he hit him with a good straight, and that was really just Jai Herbert's best moment in the whole fight.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, you obviously have the advantage in the stand-up, but Moicano, even though, I mean, he's always been in some very exciting fights, he has the stand-up. His background is jiu-jitsu, is Brazilian jiu-jitsu, and he just took him down, and he just showed that. And I think it's good for Renato Moicano to show that, because he hasn't really done anything. Like, he has a win at lightweight, but it's like he has a lot of holes in his stand-up that he's still realizing. And I think what it is, too, is just I feel like what it's going on with him is his durability is just slowly starting to change. Maybe it has something to do with the weight cut, now that he's at lightweight, so his body's able to recover a lot faster from it.
Yeah.
But because when he got knocked out, man, he was getting knocked out nasty. And so, yeah.
But he's in the win column, and he's doing pretty well. And speaking of other people in the win column, we got Tim Means grinding out Dalby, Nicholas Dalby. Just like with the PFL card, I don't think that was very surprising.
Yeah.
That's what Tim Means does. He's good at it. And he took on a pretty fresh face for the UFC. And I mean, that's what you see when that happens.
But yeah,
the veteran just outplays him.
Yeah, it's just kind of what he did. I mean, there's not really much to discuss with that one, to be honest with you. It's just Tim Means was taking that whole fight. So the next fight was Andre Fili versus Daniel Pineda.
And boy, was that not Pineda's fight.
Not at all.
He's getting beat up pretty bad. And then there was the eye poke.
Yeah. Which
kind of put Andre Fili's clinic to a halt. Andre Fili, man.
Yeah.
Looked really freaking good.
Yeah, he did. And what's that? Coming off of his loss to Bryce Mitchell, I feel like he also needed this win to prove a point.
He didn't get it. Unfortunately, he was well on his way to getting it, but he didn't. It got ruled a no contest. Pineda even tried to lie to the doctor.
Really?
Yeah. The doctor checks him out, and then he's like, all right, how many fingers am I holding up? And he does the classic how many fingers am I holding up test. He holds up 3, and Daniel Pineda says 1, and he goes, oh, nope. No. And Herb Dean's about to call it off. He goes, no, you just didn't wipe away the blood, Ma. You got to wipe away the blood,
this
dude.
Motherfucker.
And he's like, okay. So he wipes away the blood, and Herb Dean's getting real intense, looking real close, and he goes, all right, how many fingers am I holding up? He holds up 1, and he goes, 3.
This motherfucker, dude.
I mean, the second one, he might have said some different numbers, but it wasn't enough to convince Herb Dean. Herb Dean waves it off. Yeah, he was pretty pissed off. He really wanted to fight. I mean, Andre Fili was pissed off too. He didn't want to win the fight like it didn't want the fight to end like that. No one does. It's It's not beneficial for anyone, and all it does is set you back in a lot of ways. It sets you back on, now you don't have a win. Now you train, you cut all this weight, maybe you hurt your body. Daniel Pineda took a lot of damage in that fight. He's going to take even more time off because of that.
Yeah.
So it's really crappy when fights end like this, but yeah, it swelled up. That eye swelled up real bad.
Yeah, he couldn't open it with it to do an official decision.
Yeah. It was nasty.
And I feel bad for Andre Fili because I feel like he needed that finish too to prove a point, and I think he was gonna get it. Yeah, he was. I mean, he was beating him up, like you said. It was just him, Andre Fili, doing what Andre Fili does best, and he's finally able to implement that on somebody. And because he hasn't knocked anybody out that had a finish since 2019, so I know he wanted that really bad. And he talked about how Friday, the day before, was his birthday, and so he really wanted to go in there and get a win. Yeah. Doing what he loves and stuff, and I think Andre Fili even said in his post-fight press interview, he was like, man, like the way that fight was going, I was gonna finish him. He was like, that eye poke happened. I mean, it sucks that happened, and no disrespect against Daniel Pineda because I know he wants to keep fighting, but I was gonna win this fight. I was gonna knock him out this round. So, yeah.
Sorry. So. With that, we have the co-main event. Or I'm sorry, we had Timur Valiev and Barcelos, which that fight, it was a decision for Valiev, and I don't know, man. I think Barcelos had...
You thought he won?
I think he could have won that fight. I wouldn't have been surprised if it went the other way. I'll say that much.
I remember watching that fight, and I was sitting there like, man, I hope he fucking gets it, because I picked him on my verdict app.
Barcelos?
Valiev. I picked Valiev. I was like, man, I'm going with the underdog, and I went heavy on him, and he won.
Yeah.
I was like, that's my fucking guy right there. Like, I don't even know who this guy is, honestly, but I was just...
Barcelos, dude, that guy freaking hits hard.
Yeah.
And he just goes for the kill with every hit. And yeah, I would say Valiev didn't really give him a chance to do that. He made him fight kind of a smarter fight instead of going in there and just trying to put you away with every punch.
Yeah.
And the cool thing about Barcelos is I think he can do that the whole fight. I don't think he slows down really much. I don't think he slows down all that much. But he didn't win this one. So that's going to slow him down.
But like you said, though, I do agree it was a very close fight. Even looking at the scorecards, one judge had it for a draw. It was a majority decision.
Yeah.
So it was just, but it was a great fight, though. I'm sure both of those guys will be back and they'll put on another great performance after that.
I don't know how I don't see Valiev getting moved up too high after that win.
No, I don't either.
But he's knocking on the doors.
Yeah.
I know that much. Beating Barcelos is a big deal because Barcelos is making a name for himself. Timur Valiev going to be fighting top 10 guys at some point.
Yeah, for sure. And so, I mean, he also has a win over Martin Day, which is a pretty big deal as well. So we'll just have to see what's up. And for Barcelos, I mean, this is only his first loss in the UFC. So it's not like it's a big deal. I mean, this is only his second loss in his career. So he's going to be definitely coming back for sure. I'm looking forward to his next fight.
Yeah, that will bring us to the co-main event, which was Tanner Boser fighting Ovince St. Preux in the heavyweight division. And interesting fight. OSP was going for a takedown at some point, and Tanner Boser put his fist on the cage. And OSP and his team are convinced that that's what stopped OSP from getting the takedown, and then Tanner Boser ended up landing a knee and finishing him in the fight. So Ovince Preux has filed for an appeal, and I don't think they get it because it's not at all illegal to put your knuckles into the cage. I don't know, man. I don't see why.
It is if you get 2 knuckles deep in the cage. That's when it's illegal, when you put your fingers in the cage.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Disgusting joke, sorry.
Anyway. Yeah, Tanner Boser won that fight. I don't think if OSP had gotten that takedown, maybe Tanner Boser couldn't have gotten up. Who knows? But as it stands, Tanner Boser by knockout.
Yeah.
With a really nice knee.
Yeah,
to start the combination. It was
that dude is trimmed up. Like at first he was just that chubby dude with a fucking mullet walking in there fucking people up. And I see him now. I'm like, damn, you've lost a little bit of weight, man.
Yeah.
Like it's pretty cool to see how
much. He's doing what Derrick Lewis should have done a long time ago.
Take his conditioning serious. Yeah. And man. I mean, I really like Tanner Brother. I kind of had him picked as well for this fight. I had him actually by second round knockout. And I was very happy to see him pull that off against Ovin St. Preux. I just don't think heavyweight's a class for Ovins. And I know.
Yeah, he was great at light heavyweight, man.
Yeah.
It's just tough competition there.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean you can't hang.
And
unless he was having issues with the weight cut. Do you know if he's having issues with
I'm sure
cut?
He was getting tired of it probably. He's not getting any younger. He's a big guy. I remember whenever they put him next against John Jones, he's about the same size as John Jones.
Yeah.
And,
Jones obviously longer, but
yeah. That dude has. I think he's
most people.
I think he has the longest reach in the UFC still, right?
Yeah.
And so,
there's two people that match it.
And
I can't remember who it is, but it's some other guy.
Yeah.
Obviously.
7 foot reach, man. I mean, fuck, that's intense. But yeah, man, I prefer OSP to stay at light heavyweight. I think it's just the best bet for him as well. But I'm sure cutting weight for years, it gets fucking old. And
against Latifi.
That would be a rematch.
Yeah.
Back from
cool.
Yeah, that's what it's called. That'd be actually a good fight. I wonder what OSP can show against him in that fight, because I know literally Latifi choked him out cold.
Yeah.
It was a pretty nasty choke. That was the only highlight of that fight, but yeah.
Bless you.
Thank you.
And that sneeze will bring us to Gane and Volkov. Cyril Gane, Alexander Volkov. That was a really good fight. To some people, maybe they're not the most exciting fight, but it's very technical. Both guys landing shots. I think Cyril Gane is just a more versatile striker, and that's what won him the fight. Volkov had the length, he had the punches, but he couldn't do much other than that.
Yeah, I agree with 100%. I think not OSP. Fuck, I don't know what to say about him. Cyril Gane, his stand up is just levels above a lot of these other guys.
Yeah.
And it's crazy to say that about against somebody like Alexander Volkov, but he just went in there and just really showed why he was undefeated in Muay Thai and why he's undefeated. He was, check it out. You give me a look like, okay, what's that?
You were making a face.
I was thinking honestly, but so yeah, I mean, he just, I don't know, man. Cyril Gane's an athletic freak. Like he's just a sponge when it comes to the sport. Whenever you see him win by submission, honestly, that's so impressive to see a Muay Thai kickboxer come in and still be able to implement that.
And what's really cool is to see he basically won. It was basically the same fight as his fight against Rosenstruck, which no one was happy with. So it was the same. You have the same fight where you don't want to go in there and actually stand and throw with this guy, because you're going to end up getting knocked out if you do that.
Yeah.
So you have to kind of pick him apart. And that's what he did against Rosenstruck, but I think this time around it was a bit more exciting because he didn't just have to jab and leg kick to get away from the guy. He had to actually throw some more punches and kicks and volume, because you didn't just have to land, you had to outstrike too, because Volkov was throwing a lot back, and he was able to reach him. So he had to do a bit more, but Cyril Gane was able to show that he can acknowledge that, and I think that's a big deal, is to acknowledge when you need to do more.
And he's really good at switching stances as well. Just he would fight a lot of this fight at southpaw, and Alexander Volkov just didn't have answer for him at southpaw at all. Dude, when he threw those fucking flying knees,
he got way up there. He got well above Volkov's head, which is already
Volkov's like 6'7".
I think so. And
he is, because we talked about, because I always reference him back to Tyson Fury, and they're the same height.
Well, Cyril Gane threw a flying knee at some point and was well above Volkov's head. His knee was above his head, not just his body, but his knee was above Volkov's head. That means he jumped like 8 feet in the air.
It was just
crazy.
It was nuts watching it. I was like, dude, there's no fucking way. Like, how's he doing this? But like I said, man, Cyril Gane is just something else. He's he gets a lot of shit for not really finishing fights as much as all these other heavyweights, but it's mainly by Dana White. But
but it's also, look at his level of competition shot up. Rosenstruck, he was a guy that everyone assumed would be fighting for a title, but then he had to fight Ngannou.
Yeah.
And then you have Volkov, the next guy that everybody assumed was going to be fighting for a title soon.
Yeah.
And now that leads us to one of the most prominent things in MMA news right now.
Yeah.
Is there's going to be an interim belt in the heavyweight division for some reason.
Yeah. 3 months after it's already been defended and the new champion's been crowned.
And it's because Francis Ngannou said he wasn't going to be ready to fight Derrick Lewis by August, which is 5 months after he just won the belt.
Yeah.
And they're giving him an interim shot, which I think is insane because Stipe would defend the belt, once a year?
Yeah.
And I think it's crazy that they're doing an interim and acting like Ngannou's not ready. And Ngannou's trainer said something like, this is garbage. We know what we're worth. We know it's not that outlandish to ask for more time.
Because I think he just wanted them in September. I think that's what he said. He's like, I'll fight him in September, but August is too soon.
And Dana said, no, y'all are full of crap.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, okay, all right, Dana.
Yeah.
But August is in Houston. That fight's going to be in Houston. So I understand why Dana's pushing for Derrick Lewis to fight in Houston. That's such a big draw.
Yeah.
Houston's one of the only venues open for the time being. So it makes sense. But really just to push it like that, I just don't agree with it. To say Ngannou has to be pushed to the side for however long, because who knows what's going to happen with Gane and Lewis. I feel like someone's getting knocked out.
Yeah. It's a weird matchup, but just with that, back to that whole thing with Ngannou, excuse me, I know Dana White said that, we tried to set it up for this, and come to find out that Ngannou's manager called him out, was like, no, you said you wanted us to fight in June. I said that was too soon, and then after that you wanted us to fight in August. I said that's still too soon. And because Francis Ngannou doesn't live in the U.S., and so but he trains in the U.S. though, so he has to travel over here to come and train and get ready for a fight. And they wanted him to have a quick turnaround with a title, which I was surprised that somebody like Francis Ngannou doesn't live near where he trains, just because of the fact that it's just his fights end so fast. So he's probably like, okay, I can just take a little bit of time off and enjoy this. But but I don't think Dana White's ever really cared for Francis after he lost 2 straight, one to Stipe and then the next one to Derrick Lewis.
I don't know, man. I get what you're saying, but I can't believe that Dana doesn't look at Francis and go, holy crap, look what I have here.
Yeah.
I think he's got to be a huge fan of Francis, and he's just angry that he doesn't get to use this tool and basically exploit him.
Yeah.
Because look at what he is. He is a monster of a man. Yeah. And he's got the power of a freaking god.
Yeah.
It's insane. And I don't blame Dana for being upset that they're not ready. It's because it's not like he's not fresh.
Yeah, and that's the thing too, is that's what I was kind of getting at, is okay, his fights end so fast. It's how are you not fresh for a fight against?
And I think it's more of a hey, no, we want the proper time.
Yeah.
To get ready for Lewis, because if you don't get ready for Lewis, you're not gonna beat Lewis.
Yeah.
Do you think Curtis Blades was ready for Lewis?
Him, yeah.
I don't think he was.
But that's his.
I think he went in there and was like, I'm gonna just do the same thing I do to everybody else.
Yeah.
And you can't do that with Derrick Lewis.
But that's just what happens whenever you fight Derrick. Like you said, when you fight Derrick Lewis, though, that was as ready as Curtis Blades was going to be. And
I think Cyril Gane can be ready for Derrick Lewis.
I think he can too. I think I was surprised he's taking such a quick turnaround after.
Basically the next day he's like, I'll fight Derrick Lewis. Sure, I'll fight him.
Yeah, he's just like, I'll take it. I mean, he just won last weekend.
Yeah,
he's already has another fight set against, like you said, against Derrick Lewis. August 7th is the date on that one.
August 7th in Houston.
Yep.
H-Town, hold it down.
Which I wish they could have worked. I don't know why they didn't already have the Ngannou versus Lewis fight set.
Yeah, I thought that they did.
They made it sound like they had it already set.
Yeah.
But
you know what else this sets up for?
What's that?
Jon Jones.
That's what a lot of people are saying.
Gives us more time for Jon Jones.
I
don't think that's going to come into the equation at all, but
That's what people were arguing,
fun to
though.
say.
Was people were like, "Do you think that Francis Ngannou is really just trying to hold out for John Jones?" And I was like, "No."
And if they're gonna make an interim, you can't,
No.
because now that person is entitled to something. But that does open it up for John Jones. He can come in and say, "I want the winner of Lewis and Gane,"
Yeah.
and then you can't deny me a title shot because I'm the interim champion.
Then after that, you have what? You have the interim titles being defended and all the main titles being held up. You know,
And it's all because Dana White
is an asshole.
I guess.
I mean, it's just the only way to put it.
Because you can't blame Francis Corner for just saying, no, we would like more than 5 months, please.
Yeah. Which, I don't know, man. I mean, he should have been expecting this with everybody talking about this fight. You would think he would be ready for it. I know he's the champ, but it's like, look, you just won the belt. Like, I know you are Francis Ngannou. You hit like a Ford Escort, but you have to defend that title, man. I mean,
it's so rare that champions do, though. Israel Adesanya is one of the only ones to do it now.
Do what?
Kamaru Usman as well, to consistently defend the title.
Yeah.
It just doesn't happen anymore. So I think Ngannou, he deserves a bit of time.
Yeah, I think so too. So, I mean, yeah, I do agree with you. I think he does deserve a little bit of time, but it's like, look, like they wanted the fight in August, but this fight's been talked about already beforehand. Like, you've known about this fight's been offered on the table already. Like, why weren't you already like, look, I already know who my next opponent is. Let me start getting in the gym, start getting some exercise. Because there was a picture he posted with Brandon Moreno, the one that you sent me, where they were training together, and Ngannou didn't look like he was in the best shape for it, because he's usually much more conditioned, and I mean, he's fucking huge, he's jacked, he's always going to be in really good shape, but it's like, okay, so you haven't been working out much either, have you?
Well, I've been in the position with my jobs where they say one thing, and I'm like, I never agreed to that.
Yeah.
And then they're like, well, we've already established that this is going to happen. And I'm like, I never agreed to that. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
Maybe it's that. Maybe Francis is like, I don't know why you keep pushing this fight with Derrick Lewis in August. I can't do that. I'll fight Derrick, but not in August. And they keep pushing it. And he's like, okay, but I'm not doing that. Maybe it's a situation like that. Or at least his corner felt the way.
Which I feel like Francis is more in the right than Dana is, but he's not going to say. He's just going to put everybody on blast.
Yeah, and Dana's always going to do that.
Yeah.
But anyway, in other news, we have Sean O'Malley, who was set to face Louis Smolka. Louis Smolka has now pulled out due to injury, and he's been replaced. And actually, it took a couple days to get the replacement. I think you said that Sean O'Malley had been offered several fights, and we just don't know what happened with them.
Yeah, there's a couple guys that stepped up that want to fight him. Merab Dvalishvili said he would fight him. Ricky Simone said he would step up and fight him.
I think the Ricky Simone fight would be very interesting.
I would love to see that fight. I'm a big fan of Ricky Simone. I think he's a very exciting bantamweight. I really hate that he lost over Uriah Faber, because it was like that was Uriah Faber's comeback fight, and he got TKO'd by him. But I felt like that fight made the most sense. Like that, just in general, that fight makes sense, you know.
And the fight that Sean O'Malley did take is against Chris Moutinho. You may not have heard of him. I haven't. No hate to him. I just haven't heard of you. And I really do like Sean O'Malley. He's awesome. I remember when he was starting out, and he was it the Ultimate Fighter or Contender Series?
Contender Series.
Contender Series, yeah. And he had the Irish tattoo, and it was Irish, and I was like, yeah, all about it. He isn't really all about it anymore. He's about, smoking weed and dyeing your hair weird colors.
Well, he was about the smoking the weed thing before that he dyed the hair, though.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
But part of me wants him to lose this fight.
Really?
I think it'd be interesting.
I don't think he loses this fight.
I don't either. Moutinho, I'm so sorry for not pronouncing the name correctly. If I'm not, Chris,
are y'all fucking friends?
My buddy Chris is 9-4, 9 wins though.
Yeah,
that's not bad at all.
He is on a little win streak right now.
So if he came in there and won, huge upset, really projects his name out there, because Sean O'Malley is very popular. He's a fan favorite. Not a 10 ranked fighter or top 10
Not
ranked fighter.
Not even a 15.
And he's not picking guys that would move him up in the ranks.
Yeah.
So I kind of want him to lose.
It's like one thing.
Get my boy Chris in the top 10.
I'll break him in the top. Give him in the top 15 quick.
I think it would at least get him the opportunity quick.
Yeah.
Get my boy Chris in there. Get rid of these fighters who don't want fights. They want the easy way.
Oh yeah, Tim Elliott also said he would fight Sean O'Malley.
And that's a tough fight.
Yep.
And he said no.
Yep.
Well, I don't know what happened, so I can't say
I don't
that.
either. I feel like whenever these fighters say that I'll step up and fight him, Sean Shelby's like, okay, fuck, we don't want to ruin this one. Let me not reply to those guys.
You know what? That actually makes a lot of sense.
Or Mick Maynard's like, I'm not fucking reaching out to these guys. But yeah, it just like we talked about, man. It's like I really like Sean O'Malley, and I think he has great stand up. He hasn't even had to show his jiu-jitsu yet. I do like Sean O'Malley.
Are you sure?
I'm positive I do. He just because the only thing I'm frustrated with him and what the UFC is doing with him is they're still trying to build him up. And it's like, okay, eventually you have to fucking let this bird fly. Like, you have to give him that push.
I'm a peacock.
And so, you have to, though. Like, look at all these big stars. Like look at Conor McGregor. You know, and the reason why it's so easy to refer back to him is because
he's such a big example.
Yeah, it's because look who he beat. They pushed
him so fast.
And they pushed him hard as fuck. Whenever he fought Chad Mendes for the interim title, he just beat Dennis Seaver.
Yep.
And it was just like, okay, like Dennis Seaver's good, but...
Oh, you guys don't remember Dennis Seaver?
Oh, yes, he did steroids also. And, it's like...
I loved Dennis Seaver, to be clear. I thought he was so fun to watch. His spinning back kick is one of the best there is.
It's so brutal, man.
But yeah.
Like, it's just like, you know, you look at guys like, even in his weight class, like Cody Garbrandt. Cody Garbrandt he started off real slow. The next thing you know, he's fighting Takei Mizugaki, knocks him out, then he's fighting for the title.
Yeah.
You know,
Mizugaki was good, though.
Mizugaki was good.
That's a huge win.
And so it's a big win, but it's also a big push.
Yeah.
You know, because he even had tough fights before that when fought Thomas Almeida. And so, like, with Sean O'Malley's young. I want to say he's like 26, 27. Yeah. He's young, and he got into the UFC very young. And I think what happened was the UFC realized that they were pushing some of these guys too fast because they had Sage Northcutt. Sage Northcutt was really good, but they pushed him too quick, and then he started picking up losses, and then he completely lost that flame after that. And so, but the thing is,
real quick, I'm sorry to interrupt you again, but you know Sage Northcutt's being accused of being on steroids?
Really?
Yeah.
Is he passing drug tests?
Well, does he need to be tested?
What's that?
Does he need to be tested?
I would test that motherfucker all the time.
Yeah, but like, I don't know if he's gonna be able to fight again. I'm not sure what's going on there. I know he was supposed to get a fight and then he didn't get one. I'm not sure what happened.
COVID.
Was it COVID?
Yeah.
Okay. But have you seen him lately?
No. Is he jacked more than normal?
He gets more and more jacked. I swear, with
each muscles
post he makes on Instagram, those Labrada products, man.
Fucking something's in them, dude.
But I just thought about that and I was like, Sage Northcutt cheating? Come on, you guys.
That motherfucker wouldn't even smoke a little bit of weed if you gave it to him, dude. There's no way. He's so nice.
Remember when he met up with the Diaz brothers, though?
Nuh-uh.
It's a pretty funny interaction. You can find it on YouTube.
I'll check it out.
But yeah, I thought that was crazy that people are accusing him of cheating. But if he is, if you're not cheating, you're not trying to win. That's what they say. So, you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. But anyway, yeah, so they're pushing Sean O'Malley, and they're maybe trying to not push him. Continue with your thoughts.
But I'm sorry, when you started like talking with about, I went to go look up Sage Northcutt. Holy fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, he's juicing. Yeah, 100%. That motherfucker's
and what's
something.
crazy is if you go look at his pictures now versus when he was in the UFC, like a completely different person.
I don't think I mean, is he still fighting at 155?
Can he?
I doubt it, dude. Holy shit.
It's crazy though, right?
Yeah, no, he got fucking huge. And he's already ripped and bulky as shit. But yeah, man, I think what's that? I think with Sean O'Malley, I don't know, I lost my train of thought. That fucking distracted me so much.
It's distracting.
And so
that dude's massive now. He was him in the UFC.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And then now is absolutely insane.
Well, even if you accuse him of steroids, look who he's fighting for. One championship, I'm sure they don't have strict drug testing over there. They're probably like, hey man, you want to take TRT? Take that shit. Oh, you want to take some fucking train? Get on a cycle, man. We'll teach you how to do it. Look at that, his fucking neck. But yeah. So with Sean O'Malley though, man, I just feel like he is a very higher level fighter, but when are we going to see him get pushed and get challenged? You know, we saw the second we saw him get pushed was against Chito Vera, and yeah, that's the one I was looking at. But the second we saw him fight Chito Vera showed him, okay, maybe he's not ready. But it's like, and like I said before,
I don't think he looked bad against Chito Vera either.
I think
Chito Vera was just landing those calf kicks real heavy.
Yeah.
And people still don't really know what to do about them.
No. GSP does.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
I saw that.
And so, like, what the thing about with Sean O'Malley, though, is like, okay, like, when are you going to get pushed? Because if you're going to keep fighting these smaller name fighters, why did they bring you into the UFC in the first place? You should just stay on the regional circuit.
Yeah, because you'd be a king out there.
Which I get why they brought in the UFC. Motherfuckers will argue with me. Oh, well, he won't make as much money. Fuck you. That's not my point. All right. He's making great money. I'm happy to see that he's prospering well with his career. But it's like, look, man, like when are you going to build up this hype? People are big fans of you. Yeah. People want to see you succeed. But look at these bantamweights that you're going to have to fight when you get over there. You know, you have Aljamain Sterling, Petr Yan, Cody Garbrandt, Rob Font, TJ Dillashaw's coming back, fucking Corey Sandhagen.
Which, as it stands, I think he beats half of those guys.
Yeah.
Or at least has a good chance at beating half those guys. I don't think he beats Corey Sandhagen.
I don't think he beats Corey Sandhagen either.
I think Corey Sandhagen beats most of those guys.
Yeah.
I think Corey Sandhagen could beat Petr Yan.
Yeah.
He's just that good.
He's fucking incredible. And I think, like, the way that Corey Sandhagen fights, like, Sean O'Malley gives people trouble. I think Corey Sandhagen gives people a lot more trouble.
Yeah. I think Corey Sandhagen, he's longer than Sean O'Malley.
I know.
Since we were so mind blown at how tall he is.
Dude,
recently.
Just playing the UFC 4, he's fucking huge. It's like, that's not fucking fair.
But he hits with so much more power than O'Malley does.
Yeah, he does. But, I mean, O'Malley has shown great power also, though.
Yeah, that's not to say he doesn't hit with power, but it's just when you see him throw his hits, they're not powerful-looking hits. They put people down because his range, and I think his speed catches him off guard every single strike he throws. But with Sandhagen, it's that and power. Yeah,
they're the same height. O'Malley has a 2-inch reach advantage with 72-inch reach. 6-foot reach advantage.
Make it happen.
I mean, sorry, not advantage, but yeah.
You know, O'Malley's not going to beat my boy Chris, but once he comes back from that, they can meet up for the title.
Honestly, I forgot who the fuck Chris was for like a split second. And it's no disrespect.
Don't be sleeping on him.
Shit, apparently I was, man.
Moutinho.
We'll figure out the night of the fight, and
I don't look at.
I'm gonna go watch his highlights.
I don't need to look into him. I already know everything about him.
They're probably gonna put that fight on the verdict app, so I'm gonna go watch his highlights and see who to pick. And I'll probably still pick Chris because he's probably gonna be a very heavy underdog, and I need those fucking points. And I need Verdict MMA to get back to us, but that's a whole different.
And they actually announced some news on July 5th, whatever that's going to be. I saw they posted something about the speculation, and someone said Brock Lesnar's going to be the new mascot. That would be hilarious.
Dude, I would love that.
Brock Lesnar, come back.
I wish he would. He's too old now, but I wish he would have came back when he was talking about it.
Too old. Give me a break.
Dude, he's
fine.
Motherfucker pissed his fucking battery acid. There's no way.
So, look, if Sage Northcutt is juicing,
yeah,
Brock Lesnar is juicing.
But
because there's no way he would juice.
Who's that?
Brock Lesnar.
Brock Lesnar. Did you ever see the interview whenever someone asked him about the tons of steroids that showed up to his house one day and it's somebody else's name?
Did he get mad?
He got fucking mad, bro. He like tried to. He's like, you know what? I'm not doing this fucking shit. And he got to try to walk away, and the interviewer stopped him. They had to calm him down, and he was like, I don't know why y'all bringing it up. Like I told y'all not to talk about that. I told y'all don't do that shit. And it's like, come on, man. We all know. And because when he talked about coming back to fight DC, he was still wrestling, and they showed a picture of him, and his physique was completely different. He had put on a lot of
different sports, man.
Yeah, you're right, man. He's got to prepare for that. But his physique was different whenever it was around the time that he was rumored to fight Daniel Cormier. He wasn't as toned as much as he usually is. He was putting on a lot more weight, and I think that had to do
because go ahead.
I think that had to do with just him getting off of whatever he was taking and having to readjust to that. It happens to some of these guys who get a little bigger. It happened to Triple H. Whenever he got off steroids, he put on some weight and stuff. And
so
Sean O'Malley forgot, but yeah. I don't know, man. He just needs tougher competition. There's only
He
so
really
much.
does. And that's what I'm saying. I hope Chris beats him. Because if Chris beats him, now it's like, look, you can't even beat Chris the Great Moutinho.
Yeah.
What are we doing with you, man? You need to fight somebody. And then he'll be like, crap, I need to take a big fight, put my name back out there.
Yeah.
And he's not going to have the ability to call out higher up fighters at that point if he lost.
Yeah.
So take a fight to him, Chris. Take a fight to him. In other news, another heavyweight matchup. Fedor Emelianenko is coming back for a fight in Bellator, where he will be fighting Jake Hager.
Former WWE superstar.
You might know him as Jack Swagger, the All-American heel. I like that fight. I like it. I think it's. I think it poses pros for both sides. Fedor, that's a fight Fedor can win. Not a knock on Hager as an athlete, but
not at all.
Fedor has incredible knowledge for MMA. He's shown his skill. Like, there's zero questioning for Fedor other than, hey, man, you're a little older. Can you handle it? Hager, when he's gone in there and fought people, he had two pro fights with Bellator?
I think he has 4 pro fights, all of them were the Bellator.
Okay. But he looks good in his fights. He just isn't on the level that we've seen from Fedor.
Yeah.
So the pros for Fedor is, hey, man, you go beat this guy. You know, he's not the youngest guy, but he's an animal. He's a freak athlete.
He still knocks people the fuck out. Look what he did at Rampage.
Is that Rampage, though? That's Quentin.
No, yeah, that's Quentin Jackson right there. That's not Rampage.
So it's like, if Fedor can beat Jake Hager, it's like, oh, dude, look, he's still got it.
Yeah.
If Jake Hager beats Fedor, it's like, holy crap, he beat Fedor.
That'd be a big deal. It'd still be a big deal
That's
for
what
Jake
I'm saying.
Hager.
It's pros for both of them. I think it's a fun fight. It's hard to say that Jake Hager doesn't deserve to fight Fedor, because
I don't think he does.
What has Fedor done in the last 2 years?
I mean, he doesn't have to do anything. He's fucking...
That's ridiculous.
Fedor Emelianenko. Look who he's fought. Look who he's beat.
Well, who does he match up then?
Against... In Bellator?
Yeah.
Have him rematch Matt Mitrione or some shit.
That's lazy.
Why?
Because that's... Like
but fucking booking him against Jake Hager isn't lazy.
That's a smart move. It makes Hager look good if he wins. Now you got this new star. It makes Fedor look good if he wins, because now you're like, yeah, this is our boy. It's still Fedor. And you can just... Scott Coker can just flaunt that all he wants. Is like, yeah, we have Fedor, and he's still Fedor, guys.
Yeah.
Or if he has Jake Hager, he's like, look, we got this freaking WWE star, wrestler, and now he's MMA fighter beating Fedor Emelianenko. Can you believe that?
Yeah.
That's a smart move.
Yeah, that's with this fight though, is like, you have Jake Hager, who's been wrestling since he was 5 years old, and I don't mean professional wrestling. I mean
real wrestling.
Real wrestling.
Not
wrestling.
To be confused with wrestling bears like Khabib.
Yeah, I mean, he wasn't wrestling bears when he was a kid though, which would have been.
He's the American, so he's a wrestling.
I wonder what that bear's up to. Like, genuinely, like, what the fuck did they do with the bear?
He's probably dead. That was like 20 years ago.
They don't they live for quite a while?
Yeah, but not that long.
What's that?
Not that long.
Oh, man.
Not 25 years or so. I guess they could, but they're going to be not looking great.
You think if, like, Khabib walked in there, he would know him?
No.
They'd be like one of those, like,
they'd look and lock eyes, and there'd be like this siren that went off, and everybody had to leave the building, and they just lock into a wrestling match, and the end credits play, and that's the end of life. The world as we knew it. Ding, ding.
But that's what, like, reminds me of those stories when people like help raise animals in captivity and then they let them go free. I saw a story that was like this man raised a baby elephant, and then he noticed always had a scar on its head. And one day he's just traveling in Africa doing a wildlife tour, and he saw this elephant and with a scar on its head. And he's like, I know that one. So he climbed over the barricade to go and talk to it. And then when he walked up to it, it trampled him to death.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, an elephant in the wild has a scar on its head.
I don't fucking...
Crazy.
It's a big joke, man. I don't know. It's nothing to be
Oh,
taken
it's a joke.
serious.
It's not a real story.
No.
Oh, I thought you were saying it was a real story. I was
God,
like,
dude, fuck.
it's an elephant in the wild of Africa. I assume. Of course, it's gonna have a scar on its head.
Yeah.
Somewhere.
Don't take it. Don't take
Look,
it serious.
this is
man.
serious. You bring in bears.
Yeah.
That's my brand.
And so, but yeah, so with the fight with Fedor, I think with Jake Hager, he is the younger athlete, but I think the wrestling does cancel each other out. Fedor has incredible sambo experience, and I think Fedor has the advantage in the stand-up for sure. I think Jake Hager still has a lot of work to do with that aspect.
When was the last time you saw Fedor fight?
That's a good question.
And who knows how his body has changed since then.
I don't think it changed that much.
All right.
He fucking still looks like a dad. I mean, he's
looked like that his whole career.
Yeah,
so
exactly. I mean,
you'll never know what effects his body has taken on.
I don't know why he doesn't grow a beard out. He just shaves his head, just bald with a beard.
He might look like Alexander then.
Yeah, you don't want that.
You don't want that.
You don't want that at all.
Alexander's gonna show up to my house now.
Yeah. Oh fuck. That motherfucker's scary enough to do so.
Yeah.
His last fight was December 29th, 2019 against Rampage, and that fight was really cool. Was that fight actually took place in Japan? I thought that was really cool.
Oh yeah, it did. Yeah, that was really cool.
Yeah, and Rampage looked like absolute dog shit.
Yeah, I did.
He looked terrible. He was like had to cut weight to make 265. Never seen Rampage.
That's why it's
like
not
that.
Rampage. He's Quentin.
Yeah, he was Quentin Jackson in
Big
that fight.
Q.
I don't think he plans on fighting again anytime soon.
I wouldn't be surprised. I think he should be one of those guys that should go in there and be a coach, because I think he is not a bad coach, surprisingly.
I disagree with that.
Look at how he motivated those guys. Look at how many big names came out of that season.
The Ultimate Fighter 10?
Yeah.
I don't think he motivated those guys at all, man.
I think there's only one guy he didn't motivate. Actually, I think that guy did pretty well because of him.
Who?
Titties.
Oh, fuck. He motivated the shit out of that guy.
Exactly. And you're going to tell me Rampage can't tell you how to lift weights or do some cardio or what kind of drills to run? Of course he can.
Fucking dude.
Bring him in as a strength and conditioning coach and have him be
shame the shit out of him the whole time. Which is funny as shit. I can't remember that fighter's name, but I think he lost weight and he still competes here and there. And Rampage is the fat one now. Mm-hmm. And it's like, man, the tables have turned.
If they meet up, that interaction needs to be recorded.
I wonder who would win in that fight if those two fought.
I don't know. I couldn't say.
You got to think, man. I mean, one of them's Rampage is just never really...
Quentin?
Yeah, Quentin.
Big Q?
Yeah, Big Q. That's the best way to describe that motherfucker now. I forgot that guy's name.
Yeah, I couldn't.
Daryl Schoonover.
Oh, yeah.
I'm looking at the bracket from the Ultimate Fighter 10 right now.
Freaking Roy Nelson, Matt Mitchum, Brendan Schaub, Kimbo Slice, Justin Wren.
Yeah.
It's crazy telling me Quentin Rampage Jackson couldn't be a coach. He'd be making you laugh. You'd have such a good time, too. Unless you didn't work hard when you were there, and then you'd have a really bad time. He'd make fun of you nonstop.
Who's that?
Rampage.
Rampage, that's exactly what he would do. He would just be a dick the whole time.
And that would motivate you.
Have you ever seen that video of Tiki Gosen slapping his fucking snacks out of his hand?
Yep.
He's like, why'd you do that? It's like he's so upset. But I don't know. I think Rampage just kind of lost his discipline along with everything, though. You know?
Yeah. I mean, why not? You know? Go live your life. Be happy.
Then retire from fighting, then.
That's what makes him happy.
Yeah. Was that fighting?
Apparently food.
Those things make me happy, too, but fuck.
Exactly.
But I'm not a pro.
Don't be mad at him because he can do it at a better level than you can.
Fuck you. What's that supposed to mean?
That means you're not Rampage Jackson.
Does that mean he has the right to get fucking fat and not decide not to?
Why doesn't he?
Because you have to compete. Did you see him at the fucking at the Fedor fight? He looked like the guys I worked with at the fucking Port of Houston.
Guys who ate
like,
Rampage.
Yeah. Like, he looked like Big Q. Like, he looked like a truck driver. Like, he didn't look like he was in any type of shape. Ooh. But, yeah, man, I don't know. The fucking Jake Hager fight, I don't agree with it, but I know that what Bellator is trying to do, they're trying to build a heavyweight superstar.
I wouldn't go as far to say superstar. I would say they're just trying to build something with these two guys, because if Fedor wants to come back, who do you match him up against to where he could win? I don't think he beats the top guys right now.
Ryan Bader?
You think he beats Ryan Bader?
No, I'm just saying who would you match him up against?
I would match him up against Ryan Bader.
Cheick Kongo?
I don't know, dude. Cheick Kongo's always scary.
The guy's such a dick. He's such a dirty fighter.
He hits hard.
He does. He hits hard as fuck. Ask Pat Barry.
That's all there is to it. Yeah, dude, that fight. I hate that fight so much. It's such a hard thing to watch. Pat Barry dropping Cheick Kongo left and right. And then the first time that Cheick Kongo drops Pat Barry, which is a good call, but I don't know. Well, that'll do it for the news in the MMA world. Is there anything else?
I can't remember, so we'll just save it for the next one.
Save it for the next one. You guys take care. Like, comment, subscribe. Listen to us on Spotify, iTunes, Google Podcast. Go ahead.
I interrupted your little plug.
That was it.
Oh, yeah, but I was going to say, please, like, start commenting more, man. Make some shit exciting. Talk some shit. Like, have some fun.
Let us know what y'all thought about Gilberto and Antonio. Yeah. Let us know what you think about Hope-Era. Let us know what you think about Gilbert's soul. I don't know. Something.
Yeah.
Y'all take care.